And for more on the situation there, let's bring in now Panos Moumtzis. He is the UN humanitarian coordinator for the Syria crisis. And we thank you so much for joining us this evening from Kuwait.
Thank you. Thank you for having me with you.
Now, Panos, we've just seen images of horrific conditions there in eastern Ghouta. We'd like you to describe to us, according to the information that you have, what is happening to civilians there?
The situation for civilians is really beyond imagination. The humanitarian situation is spiraling completely out of control. The protection of civilians has become extremely difficult. Basically, there's been multiple attacks, barrel bombs that fall minutes apart in different locations of the East Ghouta enclave, where 400,000 people are living and whose life in the last 3 days has become impossible. East Ghouta has been besieged since 2013. We have not been able to take any convoy since the 28th of November, with the exception of one, a small one in February. There's no electricity, there is no water, markets, everything has come to a complete halt. We've had now multiple hospitals that have been attacked, bombed, where, health facilities, this is, can constitute a war crime when health facilities are attacked inside. Hundreds of deaths. It's an area that has become hell on earth. It's really very, very difficult for the people who live inside.
And we know that many other organizations, including Amnesty International, have also raised the specter of war crimes in this specific incident. And we also know that this area has been under government siege for years and has suffered an alleged chemical attack back in 2013. The Assad regime really seeming to be relentless here. What do you think will happen to these people?
Well, we hope that we won't see an Aleppo scenario, an East Aleppo scenario take place again, because I think this is really, for all of us, for the protection of the civilians, the military option is the one that has the most devastating impact on people's lives, on even these children who go through this plane and aerial bombardment. What's unique about this East Ghouta is the fact that it's one of the 4 de-escalation areas, or so-called de-escalation safe zones, that was established in Astana. And if anything, really, it has become an escalation area where we have seen a significant increase of hostilities. From our side, as United Nations, what we're asking is for a ceasefire, a humanitarian pause for at least 30 days, which would allow us to bring in food and medical supplies, also to take out cases of medical evacuations. East Ghouta is 10 miles down the road from central Damascus. So at the moment, we have hundreds of medical cases that need to be taken to hospital, and they cannot because of needing permission to go, while a hospital is just a 10 miles drive. It's really so close to it. And of course, to be able to alleviate, we're ready with humanitarian convoys to be able to take them in, but we need the permission to do so. In New York, at the Security Council,
Panos, I'm so sorry for interrupting you there. We just have a couple of moments left. But, you mentioned there that you're not only involved on the humanitarian side, but also on the diplomatic side. And so I'd like to ask you started to talk about the Security Council there in New York. Do you think that the world will ever say enough is enough and really take resolute action to bring this campaign to an end? Do you see any hope on the horizon?
This is the question we keep on asking ourselves. We have had now 7 years of a relentless war in Syria, with hundreds of thousands of dead, displaced, millions of people alive, half the people are displaced. So far, there hasn't been this one moment to say that was a turning point to bring everybody together into a peaceful solution. There is a Security Council resolution in draft. We hope it will pass this week to bring a ceasefire. It's still being discussed. But this is a moment where leaders around the world really need to be picking up the phone and putting every pressure they can to bring a change.
Panos Moumtzis, UN humanitarian coordinator for the Syria crisis, joining us this evening from Kuwait with the very latest on these reports from eastern Ghouta. A couple hundred reported dead there. We thank you so much for joining us this evening.